What's up everyone and welcome to my Lost Colony PvE base location guide. In this guide I'm going to show you 20 different base locations which are a mix of places such as flat open spaces, pretty locations, and resource areas near important places. So I hope this guide helps you find the perfect base spot on Lost Colony, and let me know in the comments if there's an amazing place I missed. So hit the like button, subscribe if you're new here, and let's take a look at 20 wonderful places to build in Lost Colony. Now, the first place I'm going to show you is actually where I have chosen to build in Lost Colony. It is a really wonderful location because it is centrally located. And when I say centrally located, I mean centrally located, pretty much smack dab center in the middle of the map. But this area has a lot of stone and wood, so it does make it very convenient and is very close to the water. Now, let me show you why I have chosen this place. This is literally where we started this. You have this wonderful bridge that comes across here, and it is a very, very wonderful location. I have actually built like right here, and you have these beautiful forests all around you. And what is amazing about this is if you haven't noticed these forests, they change colors. So they go from blue to purple to green, and they cycle, and it is just absolutely lovely. If you like a centrally located base with a very impressive view, but then also located just in an amazingly gorgeous area with a corrupted zone not very far away, this is a wonderful base spot for you. All right, moving on to base spot number 2. Base spot number 2 is actually very close to base spot number 1. It is just across the bridge and kind of in the city area. It's not fully in the city, and you can still fly here and build here. But it is just located just south of one of the teleportation spots as well, which makes this a very convenient spot if you are wanting to go into the city to farm thralls. Now, this space is really cool because you have a lot to work with, especially if you like building really unique bases, and with the skins that come with Lost Colony for building, this is going to be a really interesting place. You've got fires nearby, you've got this big flat open space, you have all of these different areas on the side that you could take advantage of and build. Unfortunately, like with these buildings and stuff, there's nothing you can do about those, but you have all this area back here that you can take advantage of as well. And it is just kind of a very cool, intense looking base location because of all of the stuff going on here. So I definitely think that this is one of those ones for people who like a very unique looking base spot. But like I said, it is very close to one of the teleportation spots just up the way. You can see the blue light right there, and that takes you up into the city. So kind of a convenient spot if you are wanting to travel into the city a lot. Now, base spot number 3 has one of the most amazing views. You'll see why in just a second. Located at 60.5, 49.6, this base spot is absolutely gorgeous. This truly, like, how can you like, this view is amazing. Let me go ahead and show you where this is. This is actually a really cool spot because it has a bridge that connects to this an overlook point here. It's not a very large space, so obviously you can't build an absolutely massive base without using maybe cliff plats or going over the side, but it is a very wonderful location. It's absolutely beautiful, and this is why this spot is number 3 on my list. Now, base spot number 4 can actually be considered 2 different places. Not only that bridge over there, but this bridge here. Down below, it is an absolutely wonderful spot if you like big flat spaces. Underneath these bridges have these giant flat spaces that you can build on, and they're absolutely huge. Both bridges have this. Both bridges are buildable underneath, and I think this is one of the coolest spots you can build if you are planning on having a larger base. Now, this is located at 61.4, 58.5. The other one is basically the exact same thing, just over here with the giant statue. It makes it a really convenient base spot because it's close to the city. It's up high, so you can travel for resources both up and down. This one is closer to a corrupted area where you'll be able to get hordes. And then this one here is located at 42.2. 39.2. Moving on to our next location. This one is also a really nice overlook towards the city. We're located here. This is 31.3, 34.8. It's actually my community area where my community members are going to be setting up like stalls and stuff, and we have a community shop area. And this is a really cool place. It's very flat. It's very high up. There's lots of wood and stuff. You've got metal on the mountains nearby. and it is just a short little flight over to the city in order to get there. Now, base location number 6 actually is similar to base location number 4 in that there are a few different places that you can build with this. This one in particular is located 25.4, 45.2. And it is these giant structures with the giant flat tops. You can build on both this flat area and on this flat area, making them kind of really interesting and cool little isolated base locations. Obviously, you have this awesome design. It looks super duper cool. I'm sure people could come up with some very cool build ideas to incorporate the lights and stuff like that. But there's not just one, there's a few of these. So there's this one here. And then if we come over to this side, there's 2 more of these. And all of them are buildable, and you can take advantage of them if you would like to build up here. They're pretty neat little structures. This is another one here located at 59.4, 64.2. And then if we come over to this one, we are located at 68.4, 52.9. Next up, we have base spot number 7. This one is located at 48.5, 73.5. And it is pretty close to the city. It's kind of a little bit more on the right side of the map next to this giant statue. And I really like this place because you have kind of just a nice view, and you can kind of just dive down to get resources. You're going to be close to crystal. You're going to be close to metal. It's actually a metal and obsidian spawn. So if you don't end up building here, or if this place doesn't get taken on your server, you can actually come here to farm resources as well. There's a lot of nodes. But this place is a little bit more different than other ones. It's not very large, but it has a very cool lookout spot over the city. And I just like it because of the background with the cave behind it, which is really, really neat. You be careful because apparently there's Octodons that can come down here. That's a baby Octodon. But it goes and it drops down into this giant crevice down here as well, which is really interesting. But what's cool about it is you can actually place a cliff platform here as well if you chose to do that. It makes it kind of an interesting spot where you can kind of have a little tippy point to there, and then you can build down around it as well. And like I said, it's got a very nice view here. Base spot number 8 is located pretty close to the previous one. It's actually on this giant statue that is nearby. And while traditionally you would think, why on earth would you build on a statue? Like, it's very awkward, it's very inconvenient. Well, I'll tell you why. Because you can actually place the cliff platforms on these locations here. So you can actually have the guy holding your base in the palm of his hand, which is really interesting, I think, in my idea. If you want to get very creative with your base, I think this would be a very cool one to do. You could literally just have a base in the palm of his hand or on the tip of his thumb, or even up here, which also is very, very interesting. You can have it on the tip of the horns of the statue. There's a lot of different places that you can put cliff plats on this, so it's kind of a really cool little base spot if you want to go for something super unique. But yes, so both of the statues, both this one and this one, are buildable with cliff plats. So get creative, get interesting. Imagine having the entire world at the palm of your hands. That's basically what this base spot is here in base spot number 8. Moving on to base spot number 9. This spot is a really interesting one. It is located kind of within a structure similar to the second one. There's also a cave that goes in here and just goes around. So it kind of looks very unique and very interesting. This spot is located at 62.883, and it is on the side of the mountain. There's this big open area. You have a lot of space down below, but you also have like the city that you can build in. It's very flat. It's relatively open. There's a lot more space over on this side, but if you want to, make use of this and kind of build a very creative base, you can absolutely do that here in this location. Now, base spot number 10 is actually located directly next to the one that we just looked at, and this is a really wonderful place if you are building a big, massive base. It is very, very flat here for the most part. There are some Octodons that spawn here. There's some there are a lot of Purlovias, so do be careful in this particular location. but it is fantastic because it is so flat. And this is located at 70.4, 86.5 over on the right-hand side of the map, which kind of is the only inconvenient part about it, is that it's not very centrally located, but it is one of the biggest, flattest areas that you can build apart from in the valleys on the western side of the map. This is a really great spot for those big base builders who want a very large area in order to build. Now, base spot number 11 is a bit far from everything else. It kind of encompasses this whole area down here, but for reference sake, we'll go ahead and say it's at 91.996. And this area is a part of this really pretty kind of like boreal forest type thing. And you have these plants that change color, similar to spot number 1. They go from blue to purple to green. And this area is really cool. So you have access to water. There's also a waterfall over there if you want to build on that spot. There's a lot of like nice little areas in here. You can kind of like build on, and I just really like this area because I think the forests are super duper pretty, and this is another one of those really great spots. They're pretty flat as well, and for the most part it's relatively safe. Now, one nice thing is you are close to some resources. Obviously there's some metal over here, there's some crystal, so this is pretty good. And obviously we have music from Raptor Claws right now, so I apologize if it's a little bit hard to hear me. But yeah, so this is a really cool little area. And yeah, I definitely recommend this if you're just looking for a very pretty place to live. Moving on to base spot number 12. This one is located at 86.6, 80.5, not terribly far from base spot 11 in the bottom right-hand corner of the map. This place is pretty interesting. I think that if you are one of those builders that likes a unique location, this is definitely it. There's basically these tiered rocks, which I thought was actually like a really interesting kind of cool build idea. You have going straight down, and then you also have one on the left and a little bit of one on the right. And I just think it kind of makes for a really interesting base spot if you are one of those builders that likes to kind of come up with really unique designs. It also is very conveniently located here because we have this cave that is up here. This is one of the caves where you can get cave drops. There's a whole bunch of bugs inside of it that you can get treasure maps from. And occasionally, if you're doing Drakeling chests, you can also get a Drakeling box to spawn inside. So yeah, I do recommend this location. It's a really cool one. If you're looking for a more unique base spot, this is definitely one of those. Moving on to base spot number 13. Base spot number 13 is located here kind of on this peak at 76.2, 54.2. Now, I really like this spot because you've got a waterfall right underneath, and inside of this cave, I don't know if Desmodus spawn in here. I don't think that they do, but you have metal, you have crystal, you have some resources. You also have silica pearls. So this cave is actually a really nice little resource spawn as well. But is located up on this peak. It's very flat. There's a lot of trees that you'll have to harvest in order to get up here. But you have a very nicely located base spot because you have the city over there. You're high up, so you can fly around. You have a corrupted zone down there if you want to go farm the revenants. I really like this base spot. It's not terribly large, but it is big enough for a pretty good sized base once you remove all of the trees from it. Moving on to base spot number 14. This one I think is a really popular one and is probably taken on most official servers. It's located at 79.6, 40.7. And this is a super cool spot. You can build in this structure, and it has quite a lot of space, and it is very neat. It has a absolutely stunning view of the map as well. And it's just flat, and that's one of the best parts. It's flat, it's big, it's open. You can build all around, and it's very, very nice location. It's also very close to that cave just over there that I was talking about just in the previous one. And yeah, I really like this spot, so definitely recommend you check out this one. it's not already taken on your server. Moving on to base spot number 15. It's literally on the opposite side of the mountain from 14. Located at 72.6 to 35.8. There's actually quite a few different places that you could choose to build here. This structure is really cool. I quite like it. You've got a double bridge. You've got this flat area here. You've just got so many cool little places that you can build here. I love the waterfalls. I think it's a very cool little touch to it. You've got another bridge over here, and this base spot is really neat. I think that this is kind of one of the more unique ones. It also is not terribly far away from the city. You've also got the corrupted zone down there, and then over here you have the valleys where you can find a bunch of Octodon spawns. And yeah, this spot is very, very nice. Moving on to base spot number 16. This area is much closer to the starting area in the southwest, which means it's a little bit easier to get to. Located at 70.2, 17.6. This base spot has a little waterfall with some very nice little crystals underneath it. This area can be a little bit on the dangerous side, though. There are Octodons, there are Rexes, there are all sorts of things that kind of spawn in this area. So you're going to want to be careful, but if you like incorporating water into your bases, this is a really cool one. You can build over the river, and you have these beautiful crystals underneath that kind of give it that extra special touch. So I quite like this area, especially if you're looking for a very simple, easy beginner spawn located base spot. Now, base spot number 17 is pretty close to 16. It's located at 64.5, 22.2. And this is similar. It's got a waterfall. It's got some crystals. The other one is just over there. And I really like this spot, like I said, because it's just a really pretty little area. You can do something nice with these trees. The big trees are not harvestable, and unfortunately you can't even put tree platforms on them. But you could really do something with this little spot. If you're looking for an aesthetic location, this is definitely it. Base spot number 18 is another kind of simple area over on the left side of the map, the west side of the map. Located at around 36.5, 11.4. You can actually very easily see it. Almost looks like a upside down arrowhead sticking out of the map, and it's a pretty nice little spot. Actually, if you come over here, you'll get the voice line from Helena saying that this is a great spot for a base. This is a really interesting one. It's got high walls. The only downside to this, and this is the only reason I disagree with Helena that it's a great spot for a base, is because wild creatures can just run down over the walls and land in the base. So you're probably going to want to put up spikes or turrets or something around the edges of this in order to protect your base if you choose to live here. But it is kind of a cool one if you would like to live in a place like this. It is big, it is flat, and you could probably build a really cool little base here. Moving on to base spot number 19. All right, number 19 is 92.4, 41.5 in the southern area of the map. It's right next to a corrupted area, which is convenient if you want to farm revenants. I like this spot again because of the forest that is here. It is absolutely beautiful. It's big and it's flat. It has a nice view down below. You have the water, you have some waterfalls, you have crystal, you have some resources. I really like this spot. It is very pretty. It's one of the places that I almost decided to build in on my server just because I love these forests. I think they're just absolutely gorgeous. But this is a really nice spot because it can be big and flat and open. Again, you can't farm these giant big trees here, but you can farm all of the other things around them. Base spot number 20 is at 92.6, 27.8. I chose this spot because, again, I know some of you like big, flat, open places, and there's quite a few different choices that you can make here. This spot is very big and flat. There's a bunch of different little plateaus in this area, and it goes up into the world border, which is also a big flat open area, and it looks really, really nice. You can see kind of a good portion of the map, especially if you face this way. It's very beautiful, but there is a lot of area to work with here. So if you are a massive builder, you want to build a giant city or something like that, this is definitely, I think, like the best place to do that, because there are just so many different little spots that you can choose to build here. It's completely up to you. If you don't want to use the resources, then you can build a little bit more towards the front of this area. But yeah, I like this spot because it's big and open and flat, and some of you like to build in big flat areas. All right, these are my top 20 PvE base locations in Lost Colony. I hope you found this one useful. Like I said, let me know in the comments if there's another really good spot that I may have missed and you want to share it with the rest of the community. I hope you guys have a good one, and happy holidays from me to you, and and hopefully I'll see you on the next one on Arat Prime.